My role at this school is coming on a Friday, and between the sixth formers and their lessons, I go into each lesson, help the students. Basically, they, at the moment, doing their projects, so I help them with what they're doing, how they can see different joints being made, how they can see it in different materials, and how they can really see the project come alive and help them really go through it. They can see I'm a professional designer, they can see that it really is out there. Before, I think they had the teachers telling them what to do and how to do it, whereas now I say, think about how you're going to make it, how it's going to be made. Is it in batch? Is it in mass production? I mean, would this really go onto the market? Is this really going to be feasible? And they think more what design actually is in the world rather than just in their classroom. I'm more there helping them to say, is this how you should do it? Making them really think about it in depth and about furthering their design development, really furthering it till outside of work, encouraging them in the design area. I think my relationship with the students is definitely different to what they have with their teachers. They look up to me so much. They're in awe of me, I think, because I've shown them some of my work and they just look at it and they think, she can do it, why can't I do it? Whereas they know I make them, they know I finish them with a product. And so they look at me and they think, oh yes, I can do it, I can be like that.
School.
When I first came into the school, some of them said, oh, I don't know what unis to apply to, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm not sure. I said, well, what do you see yourself as? I said, I don't know, I do English as well as design, and it's not all working. But now they've said, I'm going to Ravensbourne because you suggested it, because I want to do industrial design, and now I really see myself as that. So I've taken their qualities and said, well, there's these different courses out, have a look at them, see what you think, to see if you think you fit in, if you want to do it. And a few of them have come back and just said, oh, I'm doing industrial design at blah blah, and I said, oh, that's a good choice, yes. When I put it into them, but only just underlying, and they've come back, thought about it, and I think there's about 3 or 4 now who are going into design, which is really good, because I think they're good students to go into design. Yeah, I was helping this one student, and he wanted to create a chair with 2 sides and a bar in between, and the seat suspended off of it. And at the beginning, he just had 2 square boxes with a pole between and this bench thing hanging off it. I said, how is it going to work? And so I gave him a few suggestions. I said, well, you could have bits joining here. Could it be like more of a raindrop shape at the side? Think about the shapes and stuff. I said, draw them on pieces of paper, really feel what you're looking at. Next week he came in, he had different shapes drawn out. I said, now with these shapes, we need to think how they're going to be made. And all the way through the beginning of the project, the chair was gashed. It was horrible. Like, no one would want it. It wouldn't work. It couldn't be made. Towards the end, it's now a beautiful piece with metal corners, a rounded shape on the side, really simple design with just a bar across. And he's still got the draping, so he's still got the essence of it, but it's really developed into a project which can be made and is beautiful. I think anyone who wants to do a role such as this needs to be enthusiastic for the students. They need to bring excitement, life into a subject. They really need to feel their passion. They have to have a passion for the subject, because then the students want a passion in the subject, and I think that's what it's all about. I think they need to have good skills with students, be really a good people person as well, because there's a lot of talking and talking about design and what they're doing and everything. They need to be quite open with the students, really. Outside of school, I think they're really interested in what I'm doing. They're always asking me questions on how it's going. They always want me to bring my work in and show them and talk about it. And I think that's a really strong point for everyone, because I think that really helps everyone, and it helps them to be inspired to teach the students. Year 5 to year 8, when I was in school, it was very restrained. There was no freedom. Then at year 9, then I started to do my GCSE. There was a bit more freedom. I'm a very free person in my design. I want to do what I want to do. If I'm going to make it work, it's going to work. And I think that's what a designer is. They have new concepts which they're going to try out, and that's why the things they produce are new on the market, or someone likes because it's not been there before, it works well. So at school I found it really hard, because I always wanted to do something, and they were like, no, those machines don't do that. Whereas they do that, even though they're not industry standard. It doesn't matter. It's all about freedom, trying things out, experimenting. I mean, this school's definitely got all the machinery you could ever possibly want to do GCSE and A-level. It's got a laser cutter. I would have dreamed for a laser cutter when I was in GCSE or A-level. I think they need to be more free with the students though. I think they need to inject passion and freedom into the student rather than saying, here's 2 pieces of wood, let's join it together, or we can make these products out of birch face ply. Well, anyone can make it out of birch face ply. Why can't it just be done by anything? What does the student want to do? Let them come up with ideas and then say, well, maybe you should do it like this, not put them in a cage. I made a round box out of birch face ply with mahogany in it, and they all swung out in different ways, and I laminated them all separately. And they told me, Alice, this is too complicated, you can't do it. And I said, no, it's not, it's fine. I've designed it all, look, it's all on paper. And as long as we had it on paper, it was fine. We could go and do it, we could order the materials. So I've thought it through, it's fine. And I made it all and put it all together, and it's still one of my most cherished pieces. Whenever I show anyone, I'm like, look what I did when I was 18. And they're like, wow. And I brought it in, I showed the A-level students. I said, oh, I just got a box to show you I made. And they were like, wow, that's fantastic. When did you make this? Is this one of your recent commissions? I said, this is what I did for my A-level project. They went, oh my God, like, how are we meant to live up to that? And I said, well, I never did anything before that, really. I had never made anything out of wood or anything. This was the first thing I ever did. They said, how did you do it? I said, well, I just spent every day of my life just